Welcome to the Archer Shaw Temple Podcast, teachings for sovereign awakening, sacred union, and embodied devotion. I'm Christopher Shaw, here with Aeon Archer. May this transmission meet you exactly where you are and open the next doorway on your path. Let us begin.
Before we begin, first I just want to invite everyone to close their eyes for a moment and to say these words silently for themselves. I move from a place of stillness. Stillness is my center. I move from a place of stillness. Stillness is my center. And take one deep breath together. Inhale through the nose. And let your exhale soften something inside of you. Something maybe you've been holding on for far too long. You're entering a sanctuary inside your own body. Source of life, the intelligence that animates, guides, and restores. Welcome, Guru, who walks before us, behind us, within us, and beyond us. We welcome ancestors of blood and spirit, guardians of the lineage of love, the elders who place lanterns along our path. Be near. Let this space be clean. Let it be gentle. Let it be safe for honesty, clarity, and return. I invite you to feel your feet rooting into the earth. Feel your bones, ancient, intelligent, grounding you into this moment. Feel your breath entering without force, proof that you are supported without effort. This is where practice truly begins, in the body, in the breath, in the simplest form of presence. So today I want to name the terrain. Today we speak plainly. The struggle is real, remaining high vibrational in what feels like a very low vibrational world. And we must name why it feels so real, because this low vibrational world is not symbolic, it's literal. We live inside environments shaped by overstimulation, urgency, comparison, chronic distraction, emotional exhaustion, unresolved collective trauma, digital noise, relational misattunement, and this constant subtle pressure to perform. We are learning tenderness in a world built on emotional armor. We are choosing awareness in a culture engineered for overstimulation. And we are trying to remain loving in a world that continually presses on old wounds. Every day we attempt to stay coherent inside a collective nervous system built on activation. And this I can speak to from experience. Over the course of the past few weeks, past few months, past in general, I get pulled into what looks like entertainment, the drama that we see in the world, the telenovela that has become American politics. And it steals my attention constantly, draining me of my energy. And anything that looks like entertainment but steals my life force is entrapment. And recently, over the past, just a few days ago, we went to the beach and I got to watch the sun sink into the ocean for the first time in many weeks, unfortunately, even though we live so close to the water. And as I watched the sun drop below the clouds in that tiny little space below the clouds and the horizon that was open enough to see the sun, and we prayed the sun into the ocean as it sank. And I was reminded that, like, I live and operate from this place of stillness. And we live in a society in this digital age where we're constantly being forced to speed up, to catch up, to keep all, to like know what's going on and be prepared for like the drama that's around the corner every single day, robbing me of my power, robbing me of my presence, robbing me of the stillness that exists inside of me. And that starts to feel like a struggle. But that struggle doesn't mean we are failing. It means that we are awake. If we notice the struggle, if we feel it, we are awake enough to realize that something is not right in how I am approaching the world. Something is not right in how I am dealing with my digital health, how I am allowing my device and the chaos in the world around me to rob me of my presence. Now, spirituality that only works on meditation cushions and only works when life is convenient is not spirituality. It's a costume. And so what we cultivate here is spirituality that survives real life. And more importantly, spirituality that can stabilize inside the chaos. So here's how low vibrational world drains you. It's rarely the dramatic events that destabilize us. It's the accumulation of micro frictions. And it's the constant headlines of fear and doom and chaos. We wake up to every morning. I have to stop. I have to give myself 2 hours now in the morning. I can't pick up my phone and start looking at Instagram or scrolling the headlines because it immediately destabilizes me for the rest of the day. And I feel fatigued and tired. So when I wake up and I pick up my phone within the first 30 seconds, my nervous system is flooded with crisis, conflict, comparison about that guy who has the six-pack and I don't, obligation, pressure. Our energy reacts before my consciousness has even had time to land in my body for the day. The collective field that we walk into is a storm. When we walk into a storm, or when we walk into this storm and inhale, we inhale impatience. We inhale rushing. We inhale scattered attention between me comparing myself to someone else and then the drama that's on the next scroll. And what happens is I notice is that my jaw tightens, my breath shortens into like this panic that I don't even recognize is happening, and my chest tightens. Then you also have everyday friction. When I wake up that way already, and then I get in the car to go somewhere, every single person in front of me is in my way. There are interruptions, the emails, it all becomes so overwhelming and drained. Nothing is nourishing me. And in that moment when I sat on the beach and I watched the sun slowly drop down into the sea, and it was just the most nourishing moment that I had had in weeks. And I allowed myself to slow down to the pace of a day and realize that I don't really have to move any faster than the earth moves around the sun. And then, like I said a moment ago, there's digital drain, scrolling, fracturing presence. Notifications spike my cortisol, which is why my phone is always on silent. So if you reach out to me and I don't respond right away, it's because I can't handle my phone going ding, because it really is jarring to my nervous system. The mind becomes 1,000 tabs, none resolved. I can speak to that because my computer usually has many, many tabs of all these unfinished projects because I'm overwhelmed by the chaos I see on my phone. And then we have our relationships with other people. Maybe someone's tone of voice. Maybe I messaged someone and they didn't respond fast enough, or a partner who is half present, which I can be guilty of sometimes when I get caught in the chaos of the world, and a family thread that turns into 6 toxic messages. So your inner child whispers, "I'm not important." But these are not failures, they are impact points. And before we enter the map, let's talk about I want to pull in the Gunas and why the Gunas matter today. The Gunas are these concepts in the Vedic framework that explain how energy moves through the human system. They're not moral categories. They're not measurements of spiritual worth. They simply describe the quality of the energy that is moving through you. And there are 3 of them. You have Tamas, Rajas, and Sattva. Now, Tamas is this heavy, collapsed, shut down, lethargic energy, the sense of fatigue. And Rajas is this activated, restless, overstimulated, tapping your toes, waiting for the light to change, trying to speed through that yellow light energy. But Sattva is this clear, steady, peaceful, grounded stillness. Now, the Gunas, these concepts, they remove the shame around these energy states. They remove the story behind these energy states, and they remove the self-blame. They help you say to yourself, nothing is wrong. This is simply the texture of my energy. And this knowledge, this awareness is medicine. So we use the gunas today to describe what they feel like and to become aware of how this energy moves through our system, because they offer a clean, grounded, non-shaming roadmap for living a spiritually awake life in a dysregulated world. So here's how you can apply them in real life. So first, I want to talk about tamas, the weight. Tamas feels like collapse, heavy body, foggy mind, low motivation, emotional flatness. Everything feels too big and overwhelming. What's the point anyways? And that tends to happen to me when I give my energy away first thing in the morning to my phone. It immediately siphons me, and then I just feel like the world is so overwhelming and too big. How am I ever going to make a difference? Tamas means I don't need productivity. I need gentleness. I need more space. And the medicine, what we give ourselves when we start to notice that this is our energetic state: sunlight, warmth, nourishment, movement, gentle movement, contact, and one doable action, something small, just to get our system moving and this energy to move through us. The next one I mentioned was rajas. That's the spin. Rajas feels like fire turned sideways. Racing thoughts, urgency, irritability, overstimulation, multitasking without completion, definitely guilty of that, and emotional reactivity. Rajas means the system is outrunning my presence, which is one of the things I do to recalibrate my energy. Is the statement that I had you say to yourselves earlier, is that I operate and I move from a place of stillness. Coming back to my center allows this energy to recalibrate itself within my system. And the medicine that we can give ourselves when we find ourselves activated with that energy, with that fire, with too much fire, we stop, we lengthen our exhale, we turn off the phone, stop paying attention to Instagram, we slow ourselves down. Because by becoming aware of how the energy is moving in our body, we have the power to balance it out with our actions. And the third, which is my favorite, if I could be in this one all the time, I would be very happy, is sattva, the clarity. Sattva feels like steadiness, clean listening, this emotional spaciousness, the capacity to experience the world without having to react to it. Intimacy with this moment. And for me, I love intimacy with this moment because it allows me to watch the sunset and be grateful, to watch the colors in the sky as they change when the sun comes up over the mountains in the morning, to appreciate the depth of my relationships with the people in my life, to appreciate the opportunity to be here sharing with all of you today. And that's the thing about sattva. Sattva means this clarity is meant to be shared, not hoarded. Sattva is the energy that I want to bring into the world. It's the energy that balances the chaos that I see around me. And the medicine that we use in order to cultivate a relationship with this clarity is gratitude, expression, gentle generosity, and grounded action. And here's the thing about sattva. This clarity isn't meant to stay inside our meditation. It's meant to breathe inside of our relationships. Because the moment you leave that sattvic state and re-enter real life, that's where the practice gets tested. Sattva is easy when I'm alone, sitting on my meditation cushion on the rooftop. It's easy when the room is quiet. It's easy when no one is activating my nervous system. But the true measure of clarity is what happens the second you meet another human being. And why does our vibration get tested in relationships? That what I call it, the loving abrasion of the human fellowship, because relationships activate wounds, attachment imprints, fear of conflict, fear of abandonment, fear of inadequacy, fear of disappointing others. But all these fears are meant to refine us, to allow us to know ourselves more deeply and to set them free. High vibration is not a life without triggers. High vibration is clean behavior under activation. What do I do when I feel like I'm cornered? What do I do when I feel pressured? What do I do when I feel my old fears creeping up? How do I navigate the world and navigate with those and develop a relationship to set those fears free. It looks like, I need a moment, I want to speak from clarity. Or we notice the story that we're telling ourselves and we ask someone to clarify what they mean. Or I need to check my capacity before I commit to something. That landed harder than I expected. I need to pause. I need to process this. Give me 10, 15 minutes. Give me 30 minutes. Creating space for ourselves to process what's happening inside of us, to notice our internal weather patterns. This is what spiritual adulthood feels like. And once you start practicing this, pausing, clarifying, checking your capacity, correcting your tone, that's one more place where the path can get slippery. Because the moment you begin responding with more clarity than before, the ego can try to turn that growth into hierarchy. So this can be the trap. This is the trap that most spiritually evolving people get into. I feel like this is the last trap on the journey. It's that trap that says, I am high vibe, they are low vibe. That's spiritual superiority. But low vibration is often pain, overwhelm, trauma, fear, unmet needs. And as we evolve as spiritually mature people, we see that as what's happening in others. It doesn't mean that we disown them. It doesn't mean that we say that they're less than us. It means we are recognizing their humanity because we've walked through it too. And then we stand as a lighthouse to show them the way. Compassion does not require access. Protection does not require walls. And boundaries do not require hostility. The sovereign stance is, your pain is yours. My center, my stillness is mine. I won't abandon myself to manage your discomfort. When we understand this, that most low vibration is just unprocessed pain, something inside us softens. We become humble. And we cultivate a relationship with that humility. And from that softness, we can finally hear the deeper teachings that have been echoing throughout every lineage. How do I walk in the world without becoming the world? How do I stay aligned when everything around me is pulling me sideways? And this is where the wisdom of Christ and the Bhagavad Gita come in, two traditions pointing to the same sovereign center. When we understand that most low vibration is simply pain asking to be seen, we open the door to the deeper wisdom traditions that have been guiding humanity for thousands of years. Christ teaches, be in the world, meaning fully present, fully compassionate, but not of the world. Not shaped or distorted by its fears, by its chaos, by its confusion. The Bhagavad Gita teaches, do your dharma. And that was Guru Mai's message for this year. Do your dharma. Do your right action, your aligned path, without attachment to praise, approval, or outcome. Together, these teachings form a single truth. Sovereignty is not separation. Sovereignty is alignment. They point us toward a life rooted in aligned action instead of reaction, clarity instead of needing validation, devotion instead of performance, and presence instead of perfection. This is the spine of sovereignty, a way of being that stays centered even when the world around you is not. But here's the key. These teachings only matter if they are lived, not just on the cushion, not just during prayer, not only when life feels easy or supportive. That's the tough part. They matter in the heat of real life, in traffic, in conflict, in misattunement, in the vulnerable moments where your nervous system wants to collapse or erupt. So let's take this ancient wisdom and bring it into your hands, into a simple, portable practice you can access anytime life tries to pull you off center. Here is a practice you can use at home, at work, in relationship, or in your own mind. You pause, you breathe, you name what is present. This is tamas, this is irritability, this is a lot of energy moving through my body, or this is rajas. I'm just, I'm so lethargic, I'm tired, I'm overwhelmed. And then you choose the next right action. You choose your dharma. What this does is it pauses and it interrupts the autopilot. The breath, inhaling and then a longer exhale, signals to the body that I am safe. And when you name it, This is fear. This is rajas. This is old pain, an old story. Naming it breaks the trance. Awareness breaks the trance. And then one sattvic action, something simple, precise, and doable, changes your path. This practice can shift a moment, a relationship, a day, and slowly builds a life. So in closing, beloved, you are not designed to be untouched. You are designed to be rooted. Rooted enough to feel without drowning. Rooted enough to love without leaking. And rooted enough to see clearly without hardening. You're not here to be a perfect light bulb. You are here to be a steady flame. A flame that does not panic, a flame that does not perform, a flame that knows how to return to that stillness. This is what the yogic traditions call Sat Chit Ananda, truth, consciousness, and bliss. Not performed, but remembered, because that is your natural state. So let us anchor this teaching with prayer. Source of light, thank you for our breath. Thank you for the intelligence of this body, this temple. Thank you for the witness that stays clear in all weather. May we walk with clarity and softness. May we stop confusing high vibration with perfection. May we return quickly when we drift, and may our boundaries be blessings. May our presence be medicine. For the overwhelmed, gentleness. For the numb, reawakening. For the reactive, spacious breath. And for the lonely, community that nourishes. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Guru Om, Amen, Aho, Ashe, and so it is. So let's take one final breath together in through the nose and release with a sigh. What we just walked through together wasn't theory. It was a reorientation of your whole inner landscape. And before we move on, your system needs a moment to digest it, to let the teaching settle from mind into breath, from breath into body, from body into awareness. Because sovereignty isn't something you think about, it's something you feel yourself return to. Christopher is going to guide us through a brief embodied meditation, something simple, steady, and powerful, to allow your body to integrate what your mind just heard and bring you back to the center you belong to. Thank you.
Thank you, my beloved. That was beautiful. Okay, I would encourage everyone to stick around because teaching without integration is just teaching. So go ahead and close your eyes. Let your hands rest where they naturally want to rest, on your chest, on your belly, or your palms facing down on your legs. And take a slow breath in through your nose and exhale gently out of the mouth. Letting your breath lower into the body. Letting your system know we are safe. We are here. Now begin to feel the weight of your body. Feel the gravity holding you. The chair or floor supporting you without asking anything of it. Inhale. Soften the body. Exhale. Arrive more fully. Letting your shoulders relax, your jaw unclench, letting the space between your eyebrows soften. Feeling the body shift from doing into being. Now imagine that all the pieces of your attention that were scattered out in the world today slowly begin to come home. Every place your energy leaked, every person you worried about, every story your mind spun, every moment you got pulled out of yourself. Gather all of it. like gold dust floating back toward your center. Inhale, gather. Exhale, return. Inhale, everything comes home. Exhale, everything lands. Feeling how your system has already begun to shift. Now notice if there is anything or anywhere inside of you that feels heavy, tired, flat, or shut down. No fixing, no judgment, just noticing. That heaviness is Tamas, the part of you that says, I've been holding too much. Now place your hand over that space, physical or emotional, and send warmth there. Send gentleness, and send breath. And tell that part, I see you. I'm here. We are not rushing. Inhale into that space. Exhale and let it soften by 1%. Just 1%. That is enough. Now notice any part of you that feels restless or activated. The part that spins, plans, worries, reacts, or tightens. That is Rajas. The fire turned sideways. Bring your breath there now. Slowing the inhale and lengthening the exhale. Again, inhaling for 4, 2, 3, 4. And exhaling for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And tell that part, we are not being chased. We can slow down now. Feeling your inner flame shifting from scattered sparks back into a steady, centered heat. Now notice the clarity underneath all of this, the quiet, the spaciousness, the clean awareness that's always been there under the noise. That is Sattva. Imagine a still lake at dawn, smooth, reflective, calm. Feeling that clarity in your chest, feeling it in your spine, and feeling it in the space behind your eyes. This is your true baseline. This is who you are when the world stops tugging at you. Letting the breath expand this clarity through your entire body. Now bringing your awareness to your spine. Feeling it as a column of light, steady, vertical, grounded, and unshakable. This is your sovereignty, not hardness, not withdrawal, Just presence rooted in truth. Placing one hand on your heart and silently saying, I return to myself. I hold my center. I walk as the steady flame. Again, I return to myself. I hold my center. I walk as the steady flame. Letting those words become a memory in the body. Letting your cells learn this. Letting your nervous system learn this. Letting your energy field reorganize around this. Take a slow inhale. And as you exhale, dropping your awareness all the way down into your belly. Taking one more inhale. And as you exhale, feeling your entire field settle, ground, and widen. Let the teaching land where words cannot reach, in the body, in the breath, in the nervous system, and in the quiet center behind the mind. You are here. You are home. You are steady. Take a final breath in and a long exhale out. And when you are ready, slowly opening your eyes, noticing the steadiness in your body, and coming back to this place. This is the place we give from. Not pressure, not performance, but presence. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Aeon for our offering moment.
Welcome back. Before we move into our final moments today, I want to speak simply and directly about how this temple stays alive. What we do here, the teachings, the transmissions, the community, the consistency, it's all held by real people with real devotion, giving their energy, time, and hearts to this space. There's no outside funding, no organization behind this, just us, all of us, creating a field that supports everyone who enters. If this temple has become a part of your spiritual rhythm, if it helps you breathe easier, if it gives you clarity, strength, or direction in your week, and you feel grateful for that, then you're invited to help keep it thriving. Your support isn't just paying for a service, it's participation. It's how the field stays clean and strong. It's how we continue broadcasting to wherever you are in the world. So if you feel called, you're welcome to give now. Just take out your phone and open your Venmo and search at Merkaba Temple and give whatever feels aligned. You can also give through the website at merkabatemple.com/donate. A one-time gift, a regular offering, if this temple is part of your weekly nourishment. What matters most is not the amount, but the intention behind it. So thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up. And thank you for helping sustain a space that is genuinely helping so many people return to themselves.
Thank you for being here with us at Archer Temple. If something in this teaching helped your body soften or brought you back into yourself, let it keep moving. Share it with someone who's ready. This temple is sustained through conscious participation, through those who feel the resonance and choose to support the work from clarity, not pressure. If you feel called into right exchange, you're welcome to support the mission on Venmo at Merkaba Temple, all one word. And if you'd like to go deeper, you can schedule a complimentary soul alignment session at archershaw.guru. Until next time, take care of your nervous system, walk gently, and stay close to what's true.